Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's LeeVanDam here, and we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Vigilante D, VD for short. All right,
we're not doing that.
All right.
VD's not a thing.
All right, okay, that was pretty bad. All right, but he is here, and are you able to tell us who you work for now?
Sure.
You just partnered with him? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that one. I thought you were talking about like real life, like Alias Dusty.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
You just had a really.
I did have
good news.
I had a little bit of good news come up. It's not a little bit, it's a lot. I got picked up by MGL, the Mobile Game League. Mobile Gaming League is they're a league based solely off of, as it would sound, mobile gaming, and they made most of their their community known off of Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, and I believe it's called Vanguard.
Okay.
They do a lot of tournaments. Every week they do tournaments for Fortnite or PUBG. It's $500 to $1,000 a week. And usually in the rounds of 300 or more players.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big deal for me. Trying to get into the industry for a few years now. So to be able to get in and possibly going to be a caster, possibly going to be a tournament organizer is a pretty big deal.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, that definitely deserves some congratulations. That's good stuff.
Well, thank you.
Good stuff. And also, just so you know, so if you're into PUBG, if you're into Fortnite, you play some mobile games, especially the versus or battle royale games, get in touch with Vigilante D. He can help you get some information on these tournaments, because if they're happening weekly and you have a chance to earn some cash weekly, it's a good reason to practice. It's a good reason to stay on top of your game, so that way you can get it done and get some money.
Definitely. And they're on all the main social media sites. So you can just check MGL or Mobile Game League, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I think they're predominantly Twitter, like most of the gaming community.
Fair enough.
But yeah, check them out, definitely.
I've been learning how to use Twitter. It's pretty good.
Yeah, You seem like you're not just learning Twitter. You seem like you know Twitter.
That's you're very kind.
Yeah?
That's not true. Learning. It's old man learning Twitter. That's what's happening. So let's get to it. So today, we're going to learn more about you. So Vigilante D, what got you started in video games?
Oh man. People ask that question, you would think like right off the bat, because I knew you were going to ask this question.
I knew I was going to ask it too.
Let's say, all right, so nobody, I would say, in our generation would be able to say, oh, I didn't grow up on video games. Most people had video games, whether it be an N64 or a Sega or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's just skip that nostalgia factor.
Okay.
And let's go straight to, I started working when I was 12. So I would say I was about 13 when, on Christmas, my mom got me a Xbox 360. I want to say it was around that time period.
Okay.
They weren't new at the time, but still. I got one, and not long after that, I picked up Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Okay.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is when I got into competitive, like online, playing with more people than just who's in your town. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, I played that for hours a day, every day. It did not matter. I came home, that's my mom. I came home, I shut the door, and I forgot anything else was going on.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
I got into that. Not long after playing that, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 came out. I was working at GameStop then. And that's when, I had already been playing Xbox Live. And then when Graw 2 came out was when I got picked up for clan battles on GameBattles.com.
Okay.
I used to play competitively. We played against people like Diamond Squad and a few others if you played back then. But back then, there wasn't a lot of like CWL and all that other stuff. It was majority game battles if you wanted to do it from home, outside of, and I didn't know a whole lot. I grew up in a very rural area. I was actually born in Middle Georgia, but not long after that, when my parents split, I went with mom to grow up on my mother's ranch. And that was in Oglethorpe, Georgia, Macon County. We had one street light. But I had my games, and so that's what I did. I did most of my schooling in Ellaville, Georgia, actually, which also had one street light. I hear they have two now, so that's exciting news.
100% improvement. That's solid.
So, but anyways, so at the time, the idea of going out and traveling to play video games was unheard of.
Okay.
People there didn't play video games. They
Gotcha.
really didn't. I think I had
They
one.
did something like work.
I don't know what kids did outside of school, outside of things you probably shouldn't be doing, but
All right.
but I had maybe one or two buddies that played, but they played like Halo and a couple others, which I played that too. But Ghost Recon was my online competitive streak.
Okay.
So I started playing game battles, and we did that for I played semi-professionally for a few years. And then I put that down and went to college. And I know most people normally would play games. Their gaming would increase in college, but mine didn't. I actually, and it wasn't because of grades, it was because of work. I chose, like I said, I started working when I was 12, and I worked on the ranch too. So I wasn't real big into the sports, but it was mainly because from an early age, I learned that if you work and you do things, you get paid money. And I can use money to buy whatever I wanted, so. That kind of took over.
Sense. Yeah. Okay.
So, I went back to Macon County to go back to school because I went back in high school. I went to live with my dad and tried it out in a city. And instead of graduating with 40 people, I graduated with 450, I think.
Okay.
But anyways, came back to Americus, Georgia, to do school to learn how to work on aircraft. And at that time, I was working or I was playing video games, but at that time it was still not. I think that was around the time Optic and Scumpy and a few of them were playing Call of Duty, and the traveling was sort of a thing, but it's not what it is today. It's not like, hey, we have houses for Optic and all this other stuff. It wasn't that.
Right.
So the idea that you could make money solely playing video games had not made it, I guess, to my area, I should put it. I didn't actually figure this out until probably in the like 2012 era, 2013, when I started seeing people actually playing competitive shooters for large amounts of money. I know they've been playing in the early 2000s, and it was mainly PC stuff. It wasn't as much console.
Yeah.
So, you saw like StarCraft, and LoL came along afterwards, and Blizzard doing their own thing. But, for me, I guess, since I was in a rural area, I just didn't know about it. So I played my games, I had my fun, and that's all it was. And when I started playing Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2, that's what started my my bloodlust, so to speak, the need to play.
The bloodlust. All right. So, do you remember your first tournament?
Actually, I didn't compete in my first tournament.
Okay.
I was running them out of, I owned a store in Warner Robins, Georgia called Vigilantes. At that time, I wanted to do something for Middle Georgia because we didn't have anywhere that ran those kind of tournaments. And so I really wanted to run Call of Duty because at that time, that was when that really picked up for me.
Okay, that makes sense.
But to do that in a small scale, which you guys will see later on when we're doing the TO segments for Combat Theory, which, by the way, we're changing the name if you haven't noticed yet. Fight Theory is now called Combat Theory. And we did that so that way we can make this a little bit more of a widespread base.
We want to encompass all forms of combat. Punches, kicks, grenades, bullets, staves, swords, nunchaku, tai chi, things that seem legit. All kinds of combat. So
That all you got?
No. But
Okay, I was hoping I was going to wait and just see. I just want to see how far you can take it.
I really wanted to go further, but I you know.
But anyways, for somebody to start a backyard, we call them backyard tournaments.
Right.
To do a backyard tournament team or a community, a place has to spend a fair amount of money to run shooters.
True. Okay.
So I mean, even at the least amount for Call of Duty to take it, you would do 2v2s.
Yeah.
So that's still 4 systems that you got to buy, 4 PS4s you got to buy. Which, if you don't know, Call of Duty is, or CWL, Call of Duty World League, is exclusive to PS4. So most people that play competitive Call of Duty play PS4.
Okay.
Which is actually, I grew up, like I said, with the 360, and after that, the Xbox, and then the 360, and then the One. So I was always strictly Xbox until I started checking out Call of Duty World League, and then I attended a couple of events to see them, to just be a spectator, and that was when the PS4 came along for me. But anyways, you'd have to buy 4 PS4s just to play Call of Duty at the least amount.
Okay. Yeah.
To do a full team, you'd have to do 10 systems, and that's a no-no for small business.
It's a big cost. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
I decided to do fighting games because I knew there was a fighting game community up further north, and so I was like, well, maybe I can attract some of them and some of the players here. Maybe encourage people out of this small town to kind of strike out and see that they have more ability to do things in a career than just, so let's go to school, and then I go to school and I get this 9-to-5 job and I stick with this 9-to-5. No, games aren't like they're playing that off now. Games aren't just like some mental addiction or whatever, and it's not, it's not what do the parents used to call it, a waste of time and stuff like that. It's an actual industry now, and it has a spot, what it deserves, like it deserves. It has a spot in history now, and we are at the prime of it right now. So I knew that, okay, I only have to have one system. If I do one system, then we can run a tournament. And so I started doing fighting games. So I started with Street Fighter V. So the first tournament I had was Street Fighter V and Dragon Ball Heroes, I want to say, or Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would be the first technical tournament, because I might not have competed, but I ran my first tournament then. It was just the idea of bringing a community together under one roof and getting people to know everybody. And it's kind of like, for me, it's more seeing it it's almost as good as playing.
So you were able to kind of play vicariously through the players.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Did you have a favorite player that you like to play vicariously through?
No, I can't say I had a favorite player, because I just enjoyed seeing everybody. It's the interaction.
That's good.
And that's one thing that I will point out that you don't see as much with like shooters, spectators, and stuff like that. The hype that comes from fighting tournament players, is astronomically different.
Do you think that is because in most shooter games it's team-based, so the responsibility of winning and losing is shared, versus in one-on-one, it gets real personal real quick because it's your fault whether you win or lose?
I think maybe it is a little bit of that, but I